The name of lesson is My Childhood, and it is an extract from the autobiography of APJ Abdul Kalam. Before you read, can you think of any scientists who have also been statesmen? Obviously, we have read about one in our previous chapter, right? APJ Abdul Kalam, whose projects in space, defense, and nuclear technology guided India into the 21st century, became our 11th president in 2002. In his autobiography, Wings of Fire, he speaks of his childhood. It means this lesson focuses on the childhood of Abdul Kalam. So let's read it. I was born into a middle class Tamil family in the island town of Rameshwaram in the erstwhile Madras state. My father, Janal Abdin, had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Now he tells about his family that he was born in a Tamil family and their town was there on an island. So you can say, as you just imagine about an island, it's not connected with other states and boundaries are not there, and surroundings are covered by water only, right? And his father was not much educated, and also he didn't have much wealth, means he was not a rich man. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom. Now we all believe that it's not necessary that person who is not educated is not wise. This can't be accepted because there are many people who have innate means inborn, the qualities, the characteristics which you get with your birth. So he had a certain kind of inborn wisdom, intelligence, and a true generosity of spirit. And he was also a generous person, kind person. He used to help everybody. He had an ideal helpmate in my mother, Ashamma. Now, Kalam's mother was also a generous lady. So his both parents were equally generous and kind. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day. Now, this is the incident which he quotes here when he says that I don't even remember that was there any day when she didn't feed the people, and I don't even remember how many people she used to feed. But I am quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us than all the members of our own family put together. Now he says that I only remember, am sure that the people who came from outside and ate with us were more than our family members every day. So my mother was so kind and she used to feed everybody whoever came to their home. I was one of many children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. Now, Abdul Kalam tells us about his physical appearance. He says that he was not an extraordinary looking guy, means he was not so handsome, and on the contrary, his parents were tall and handsome, means mother was beautiful, father was handsome. But he says that I was not that much undistinguished, means like no extraordinary looks he had, and he was not even noticed, and his height was also short. He was not tall like his parents. We lived in our ancestral house. Ancestral means which is built up by ancestors, which belongs to ancestors of a family. So, grandfather or maybe their grandfather had made that house in which Abdul Kalam's family used to live. And what kind of house it was, which was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was a fairly large Pakka house made of limestone and brick on the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. Now, where it was, it was on Mosque Street, and it was made up of limestone and brick, and obviously it was a Pakka house, not a Kacha one. My austere father used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. Austere means a person who is simple and who is very clear about his rules and his assumption or whatever thoughts has. He is very particular about them. His father was a simple person. He never liked extraordinary things, like, or you can just say that he didn't like to show off. He was of the point of view that you must have in your house all the things which are needed for your life, which are needed for your well-being, but extra things are not required in the home, just to show off, just to show that how good your level of living is. So he was a simple man. However, all necessities were provided for. Of course, we were not given luxurious things, but yes, all the necessary things were provided my father in good, in terms of food. And which were those? Food, medicine, or clothes, which are necessary for survival. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally. How materially and emotionally? See, of course, they didn't have that much money to show off and to have luxurious things. And obviously, his father was not of that thoughts, so he must not have tried to get those things. But all the things of need were available there. So secure materially, emotionally, as his parents were so nice, kind, loving. So emotionally, he was not deprived of anything. He was fully satisfied because he was being loved, taken care of. So you can say that emotionally, materially, he was not at all deprived of anything. In third paragraph, he tells us about what happened when there was Second World War. When he says the Second World War broke out in 1939 when I was 8 years old. For reasons I have never been able to understand, a sudden demand of for tamarind seeds erupted in the market. He says that in 1939, war broke out, right? He was 8 years old at that time. And he says that I don't know what was the reason that suddenly demand of tamarind seeds arose in the market. Means there was a kind of increase in demand of tamarind seeds, and he doesn't know the reason of it. Uh, I used to collect the seeds and sell them to a provision shop on Mosque Street. Now, what did he do at that time? He started collecting, means in wherever there was tamarind plant or tree, then he used to collect seeds from there and sell them at provision shop on Mosque Street. A day's collection would fetch me the princely sum of 1 anna. A day's collection means a day's income. What was the income? Would fetch me means would give me. The whole day income would give me the princely amount. Princely means a great amount. Princely sum of 1 anna means he used to get a handsome income, or you can say a great income of 1 anna in a day. My brother-in-law, Jalaluddin, would tell me stories about the war, which would later attempt to trace in the headlines in Dina Money. Then he says that Jalaluddin used to tell me the stories that what is happening in World War, and then I would try to get that news to to confirm the news from the newspaper Dina Money, and I used to read headlines of that. Our area being isolated. Isolated means which is not, um, which is away from other towns. His area, his town was away from other towns, because we have already read that he used his town was there, uh, in an island. So his place was isolated, and it was completely unaffected by the war. So there was hardly any effect of war. But soon India was forced to join the Allied forces, and something like a state of emergency was declared. But as the part of India, even if you are living at island, means sooner or later there would be some effect. So later on, what happened when India was forced to join the Allied forces, the forces which were there together in the war, then what happened? Some a kind of emergency was declared, and obviously now there was going to be some effect in this town also. And what was it? The first casualty, means first loss, came in the form of suspension. Suspension means stopping of the train. Halt होता है, like it's when you are on the way, if you stop at some place for some time, that is called halt. So at Rameshwaram's railway station, train used to stop for some time for delivering something, for picking up people from there. But due to World War, it was declared that there will be no stop for the train in at Rameshwaram station. And that station was really important. That halt was very important, because in the train there used to come newspapers for the town. Now what happened? The newspapers now had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on the Rameshwaram road between Rameshwaram and Dhanuskodi. This is also the name of place, Dhanuskodi. Now the train couldn't stop there, and the newspaper people used to tie a bundle and throw it outside the door, and it on the road of Rameshwaram and Dhanuskodi, which was the between these two places. And Abdul Kalam's cousin used to do the work of distributing newspaper. That forced my cousin Samshuddin, who distributed newspaper in Rameshwaram, to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles, and as if naturally, I filled the slot. Now he says that I got my first job. How I got it? My cousin used to distribute newspapers in Rameshwaram, and now he needed one helping hand, means some helper who could collect the bundles thrown out of the train. And naturally, I filled that blank space. Slot means that blank space, empty place. So I filled that place with by doing job there. Samsudin helped me earn my first wages, and this is how I got my first salary. And half a century later, I can still feel the surge of pride in earning my own money for the first time. Even after half century, when I am writing this autobiography, I can still feel that rise of pride which I felt when I got my first salary first time. I still cannot forget that